So I'm going to talk about digital eye strain, blue light and contact lens wear. Some of them are going to be repetitive because only blue light, that's the same digital eye strain. Only our mode of correction is changing. From spectacles now we are moving on to contact lenses. But before proceeding to my talk, just would like to remind you all that contact lens is a medical device class 2. That means it carries a risk. People are advised to use a disinfecting solution with chemicals in it. So it has to be dispensed in a professional manner. Yeah? And so some of the for glasses, when somebody is wearing, there are only 2 points of contacts. One is the nose bridge, other one is ear end. But when it comes to contact lens, you are going to insert them on the eye. Okay? So the first part is the tear film, the water on the surface of the eye. So as soon as you put the lens in, what happens to the tears? Can anybody guess what happens to tears when you put the lens in? A mic around. Can I get a mic? This is a very interesting concept because when I was teaching my students, I get different answers. So anybody, feel free to say nothing. Yeah. Okay.
Did not get
Cornea,
oxygen.
Cornea don't get oxygen. I am now talking about only tear film. पानी को क्या होता है? What happens to the tears when you put the lens on the eye?
Stick on.
It will stick.
Stick on.
It will stick on. It stops lubricating. Very good. What else? Any other answers? Any other answers? Tear film will, yeah, exactly. Tear film also breaks. Okay, imagine a sandwich. So the contact lens is going to be like the cheese between the two breads. So that means the tear film is going to be on the front surface of the lens, also on the back surface of the lens. So contact lens is going to be in between. Contact lens is not going to stick to the eye. It is going to move on the eye. Okay. So that means because it makes the tear film as it affects the tear film, as a result it also affects the surface of the eye on top. So whatever the white portion you see, conjunctiva, cornea and all these are going to be affected. So these are the biological factors that are affected by the contact lens wear. The next one is the environmental factors. Pertaining to the topic, that is digital eye strain, environmental topics are any digital device use prolonged time. Yeah, could be phone, could be laptop, anything. That's the main environmental factors. So that's what we just discussed. Contact lens becomes a pre-lens tear film and the post-lens tear film. Okay, and most important thing, because it makes the tear film into 2 parts, so the stability of the tear film comes down. So tear film is not going to be as strong without lens. Yeah, as a result, the person had to blink more frequently. That's one. And 2, even the volume of the tears also will be reduced. Why? Most of the lenses, we call them as hydrogel lenses or soft lens. Any guess what is the water content of a soft lens? Range 59 soft lens. Any other number? 38, 38. So quite range, right? So that means 38% of that lens has water in it. So once you place the lens on the eye, contact lens sucks the water from our eye surface. As a result, the volume of the tears comes down. Yeah? And in addition, because it disturbs the tear film, it also evaporates. So these are some of the problems when we compared with a normal eye. Okay? So what is the digital eye strain? What is the significance of this topic today? Because of course the 2 speakers they explained in detail. So some of them I will skip. Okay, digital eye strain, I repeat what the statement Srikanth said. It's an eye and vision related problem. It's eye and vision related problem resulting from prolonged use of digital devices. Includes symptoms such as eye strain, dry eyes, headache, blurred vision, neck as well as the shoulder pain. So, anybody who walks into your clinic with these symptoms, you should also suspect he or she may have a digital eye strain. Yeah. And if you look at it, people who uses these digital devices for a prolonged time are affected by high energy visible or HEV or blue light on the vision and the ocular health. So, this is the two important points which we are going to discuss, how these two affects the contact lens wear on the ocular surface. So, most importantly the discomfort. How many of your own patients will come back to you to buy again lenses after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? How frequently the same person comes back to your own clinic to purchase new stock of lenses? Or did anybody out of, say, in a given month you have given lenses for 10 people. In 2019 on August 4th you have given lenses for 10 people for 1 year stock. Do you think they will come back to you on 4th August 2020? Out of 10 how many may come back to you? 1 or 2? 2 or 3? Very good, you are pretty close to the statistics. Okay. So, the main problem is contact lens discomfort. Majority are not comfortable with lenses, especially in the current scenario where the digital devices are much more, the usage of digital devices are much more. Okay. So, the contact lens discomfort refers to dryness, irritation, discomfort, fatigue that increases throughout the day while using lenses. Statement underline, while using lenses. If somebody discontinues the lenses, they may not have these symptoms. Okay, so this indicates the person might be suffering with contact lens discomfort. So this is of course the definition of contact lens, which you all don't need to know. So does your customer complain of contact lens discomfort? Anybody who comes to buy lenses, will they say I am not comfortable with lens, or do they say I feel dryness with my lenses? Any answer? Yes. So what do you do if somebody says I have dryness? You give lubricating drops. Very good. What else you do? I have a solution for you today. What else you do other than lubrication? Blink more frequently. Very good. What else? Hygiene lenses. Silicone hydrogel lenses. So material is different. So very good. So how do you know what lens material to give? Working hours. If somebody, Hyderabad, they work wearing hours. Okay. So if somebody says I want to wear my lenses for 12 hours a day in my office, so what lens do you advise? Any name? Material? AccuMoist you will give, that's better because it's moist. See the logic, dryness and you have a moist. I think that's the point to note. Okay. So if you see the reports, 10 to 15% of 10 to 50% of lens with quite big range, they are drop out from the contact lens wear. Means out of 100, every 100 contact lens wearers, almost close to 50 may not even come back to wear lenses. That's a big number. Okay. So 70% of the people reporting contact lens discomfort is the reason, especially towards the end of the day. Yeah. And then the other problems like dry eyes is the second most common, and 40% of soft lens wearers and 25% suffer from moderate to severe. Imagine 25% may have a severe dry eye problems of these all the regular patients. Okay. So it affects also the wearer satisfaction. I am not comfortable with my lens. I think when we talk about spectacle lenses, we all talk about luxury of vision, reflections from back surface, front surface, filters. Now we are talking about comfort, okay, because it's more of cosmesis. And then it also affects their quality of life. Because as when the person is not comfortable with lens, of course they will not be comfortable the way how they look, the way how they feel, so it affects their quality. So when they don't come back to you to buy the new set of lenses, it also affects your practice. Yeah. Then Lenskart is there to sell lenses less than the price what company gives to you. Okay. So when we look at the various factors for the lens comfort, now the ocular and environmental factors, that's what we discussed in the ophthalmic lenses session. Now contact lenses and environmental factors. Even if you look at the environmental factors, there are two most important things. One is the ocular environment, the tear film, we just discussed how the tear film affects the lens wear. Second one is external environment. You are in an air conditioned room or air quality. The air comes directly to your tears. Of course, already because of the lens, water evaporates. On top of that, the air comes directly onto your eyes. More evaporation, so more discomfort. Their eyes turn red, they will not be comfortable. But however, when we looked at the contact lens variables, they are pretty common. They come under materials. It could be lubricity or water content. Can you tell me a lens that is meant to be given for patients with dry eye symptoms? Any name? Other than AccuMoist, he already mentioned. Recently launched lens. Okay, that's another thing, just to get update ourselves. Is there a lens that is meant to be given for patients with dry eye symptoms? BioTrue? Ultra? What else? Why BioTrue? Very soft. Why? Oh, daily disposable lens. Then you can also give AQ dailies, right? Very thin lenses. Okay. And somebody said dailies. Ultra. Okay. So there are some special lenses given. I'll just skip couple of slides and I'll come back to the same slide again. So okay. If you look at this picture, these lenses are hypergel lenses, the water gradient. So this is one of the material called Delphilcon A. Okay. So this Delphilcon A has 33% water in the middle. When you move towards the sides, it has close to or more than 80% of water. And on top of that, the surface is treated. So imagine a small lens, it has a water in the center less, periphery more. So this is again meant to attract, it should be more water loving material, so that it won't suck the water from the tears, and also it will be friendly with the tears, so the person will be more comfortable. The another reason why the BioTrue lenses are more clear, are more comfortable for the dry eye patients is the Nesophilicon A, that's the BioTrue lens. It has low water, high decay. But the uniqueness of this material is because it is a hypergel material, all hydrophobicity means that won't like water. Hydrophilicity means that love water. Any molecule, the small molecule when you see, the hydrophobicity will be inside, hydrophilicity will be outside. As a result, it attracts water, it will be friendly with the tear film. That's another reason why BioTrue lenses are more comfortable. Yeah. On top of that, these lenses also undergo some kind of a treatment. If you look at those two pictures towards your right, the brown color one, look at the top picture A, that is the normal contact lens surface. But when these contact lenses are treated by different techniques, including plasma technique, plasma oxidation, okay, so the lens surface is going to be very smooth and more comfortable to the patients. Okay. So these are different ways they make the lens more wettable. Once the lens is more wettable, then you may not have this kind of problems. What you see on your on my top left, see the tear film is not smooth on the contact lens. This you can only see when you have slit lamp. You cannot even see with torchlight unless it's very bad lens. Okay. So, if the tear film should be smooth on the eye, then the lens surface should be smooth and it should have a proper surface treatment. Okay. Next one is the edge and the base curve. So, whenever we give the lens to anybody, there are base curves, right? They say unifit lens 8.5, 8.6, fit the lens, fits for majority. But in that majority what happens, some lenses may move little more, some lenses may move little less. When they move little less or little more, again it affects the tear film. As a result, it affects the comfort. Okay. So, that is the reason base curve selection is very important. So, you have to go for lenses that has different options for you. And then lens interaction and modality of wear. We all talk about daily wear and disposables, frequent replacement lenses, conventional lenses. So, this is what we talk about replacement schedule or replacement modality. So, cleaner the lens surface, that means newer the age of the lens or lesser the age of the lens is better. So, compared to all, daily disposable is the best lens, because by the time the lens surface gets spoiled, patient is removing and discarding. So, no solution, no case, no contamination, because bacteria is the main problem with the contact lens wear. So, there is no chance for bacteria to get inside the eye. So, that is one thing. Second thing is lens surface do not get spoiled. So, the patient will be more comfortable. The other one is the solution chemistry. Even solution also should be so viscous and moist, so that it should be friendly with the lens. As a result, patient will be more comfortable, he or she will have less dryness symptoms. So, these are some of the symptoms and the causes. For any problem, tear film is not just the only factor for digital eye strain. Okay. It could be vision related. So, that means you should first suspect the refractive error. Is there anything change in the refractive error? Is there a myopia, hypermetropia? Or is there is any little astigmatism which was not corrected before? So, you should suspect any change in the refractive error, or there might be accommodative anomalies. Like one of the exercises what Ms. Anantalakshmi said, keep reading distance and near. If you have a problem with accommodation lag, you will not be comfortable. That also may cause dry symptoms. Yeah. And now I realized why Nicholson said he is very strict. Post lunch, right? Everybody sleeps after food. Okay. The other issues for eye strain are oculomotor related, that is including focusing difficulties or other symptoms similar to vision related strain or diplopia. So, even here you have to look for fixation disparity or convergence insufficiency. Most of the problems what you get in Hyderabad, especially if you are practicing in the IT zone, they may have convergence insufficiency. Even they also complain of eye strain. Okay. So, that also you should see. Excuse me, can I get this screen? Yeah. The other things most important now, dry eye and ocular surface related, because as I said, lens fit might be very good and his ocular balance is very good, but still patient may have these symptoms of dry eye related, dryness, itching, irritation. Okay. So, if you have any of those things, then you need to look for the cause and then manage accordingly. It could be a pathology or a disease of the eye, or it could be some early changes which you cannot see with the naked eye, or it could be the general health issues. Okay. So, if you are not sure what is happening to that particular case, please refer, and then or you can ask somebody to see and then do whatever is needed for that particular case. And the other factors like extraocular and environmental factors, you have to look for ergonomics. It's the technique here is similar to what for ophthalmic lenses. You look into the how the person sits, how the back posture, how the hand, so all the postures, and look for all the ergonomics and see what is something wrong with that person. That only possible, and you will only know the reason when you ask. So, ask the open-ended questions. Okay. So, of course, you may not even get these kind of patients into your practice. If somebody is having neck pain and back pain, they may go to directly a physician and ortho rather than coming to an eye clinic. But if somebody comes, okay, you should be able to suspect something wrong and then do whatever best needed for that particular person. Okay. And most importantly, you can also look at this. There are some apps in almost all our phones, like blue light blocker apps. You all have seen? I think ask them to install it or adjust the screen illumination. I think that's another thing what you can do. Okay. So these symptoms generally occur when individual's visual ability cannot meet the comfort. If the person cannot see clearly, then only the problems will come. If he is not comfortable, then otherwise you will not even have a digital eye strain problems. That's very clear. Okay. And then there could be multiple reasons for this digital eye strain. It could be vision related or it could be ocular surface related. So when you have a vision related problems, so as I said, these are vision and ocular surface related symptoms, but when we discussed before, this is based on the symptoms and the possible cause. So don't get confused, some of them may be repetitive. So when we looked at the refractive and the oculomotor, again you see the refractive error, presbyopia, and then at the end patient will have problems like blurred vision, diplopia, triad eyes. Similarly, even if you have a pathology, they will have similar symptoms like dryness, itching, irritation and burning sensation. So depends on the pathology or the causative factor, the symptoms may vary. There may be an overlap, so you should be able to differentiate why the problem occurs and what should you do. Yeah. Now this is device related, depends. If somebody is using a device which is like handheld 33 centimeters or closer, then the person may have more of focusing problems rather than somebody is using a monitor which is at arm length. Okay. So know what kind of symptoms they are having and is it related to device. You should be able to differentiate that too. Okay. So that's why I said although symptoms can overlap between the groups, the nature and severity of the symptoms can guide you for the diagnostic tests and management. Okay. And remember, once the contact lens is removed, these symptoms should disappear. They should feel comfortable after they remove the lenses. If somebody is even having the same symptoms after removing the lenses, then you should suspect that is not lens related problem. You have to look for the other factors. Okay. And practitioner should perform an assessment of the number and type of digital devices used and the screen position, working distance. Like some of the clients that may come to you, you'll ask at what distance you sit and work. So accordingly, you can actually decide your ad power. So similarly, when somebody is coming to you with symptoms, you need to ask these questions. What is the working distance? What is the screen distance? And how do they do it? So you have to do a systematic approach, and assessment should be systematic. And special attention should be given to people of low hyperopia, low astigmatism, low refractive error. Because these are the problems, they don't need contact lens, but still they are wearing it, and on top of that they are having these digital eye strain related symptoms. Okay. So how do we manage these patients? One is the visual breaks, 20-20-20 rule, right? Every 20 minutes, take 20 minutes break and look at the object that is 20 minutes. Nice, no? Yeah, every 20 minutes break. Okay. And then somebody said, complete blink. It's very important. You should advise patients or your customers to close eyes completely. Especially when somebody is working so hard with full concentration, they may not blink completely because it's a voluntary action, automatically it happens. But work also takes out that attention, then they may have this pricking and dryness symptoms. Okay. So remember, minimize the airflow towards the eye. That's very important for contact lens wearers. And when it is computer specific eyewear, single vision lenses with low ad, these are the digital lenses you may consider. Not necessary that the contact lens is the solution for digital eye strain. So you have to consider the other alternate options, including ophthalmic lenses. If somebody is not happy with lenses, you change the material, you change the way how frequently they replace the lenses, change solution. Even then if they are not happy, please do consider advising single vision lenses or digital lenses. Of course, the options like anti-reflection coat blue light filters, those things should be considered. Okay. When it comes to the dry eye treatment, the artificial tears or the tear substitutions are what commonly given. But in addition, dandruff, how common is the dandruff? Same thing, even on the lids we will have something like dandruff, it's bacterial. Okay. So lid hygiene is very important. So first you have to identify is there a lid problem and then treat the lid problem. Okay. Or there are some glands on both the eyelids, they secrete a protective oil, so maybe problem with that secretion. So that also should be considered. That means in addition to contact lens and glasses, you also look at the surrounding eye. Eye might be look quiet, no problem, but lids may not be normal. Okay. That's the reason you should also consider looking at the lids. That's possible only when you have microscope like slit lamp in your practice. Okay. And then of course the lens polymers, replacement modality, care regime, these are the things which are done as a management for contact lens practice. And there are some lenses like what you have the Eisen lenses or digital lenses. Even in contact lenses there are digital relief contact lenses. I am not sure whether anything available in India as of now, or consider for presbyopic correction options. Okay. And if somebody is having this problem for quite long time, then you may consider discontinuation of contact lenses. Okay. Of course, the last option is vision therapy. Vision therapy comes in when the binocularity is not there, when the focusing is the problem, that means either the convergence or divergence issue or accommodation issue, then we give some kind of an exercises as part of vision therapy treatment, so that they can, it's like our gym. So it's a gym for the eye muscles. So they will be more comfortable, or they may not have the symptoms after the vision therapy management. Okay. So now what about blue light? Can the contact lens block the blue light? In 90s it was there, blocking the blue light. Do they have now? Sorry, UV blocking is there. Okay. But contact lens blue light nobody talks about. See, it's all business tactics. Okay. So the LED technology emits the greater amount of short wavelength. When we go to the sun, do we have this blue light? Of course, right, thousands of times more than what the small computers will give. It's there in the sun. Yeah. So although the high energy visible or the blue light produced by cell phones is several hundred times less intense than outdoor sunlight. Okay. So the lower energy screens are often very close, they are proximal, and we keep looking at them for so many hours, like 7 hours on average. As a result, the overall effect of the exposure to the blue light is going to be increased. As a result, you may have, or the patient may have some effects because of that exposure to the blue light. Sorry for the arrangements here, formatting errors. Okay. So however, when we talk about CFLs, we have CFLs at home, yeah, and other sources, they emit blue light. They also emit blue light. In fact, most of the lights what we have, they all give blue light. It's very bad, in fact, especially China imports. Okay. So all of us are exposed to high energy visible light, both indoors as well as outdoors, all the time. And then this HVE light is transmitted through the ocular media. So once the light comes, it goes to cornea, then the lens, then there is the liquid media in between called aqueous, then vitreous, then it goes to retina. So that means each time when a light hits on a particular structure of the eye, the structure will absorb, then it will release. So that means everywhere there is an absorption. Absorption means it takes it. Whatever is remaining, it releases. Okay. But when we talk about the blue light, sorry, UV light is absorbed. The UV radiation is nearly or completely absorbed by the cornea and the lens. But whereas the blue light is, it goes till the retina. The blue light can go till the retina, including, I said RPE, that's the retinal pigmented epithelium, that's one of the layers on the our sensitive tissue. That's the screen of our eye, a screen of our movie theater, whatever you talk about. Okay. So, the positive effects of natural daylight is modulating the biological circadian clock. What is that biological circadian clock? They also talked about, right? When should you sleep? When it becomes dark, automatically you get sleep, right? When it becomes day, you'll be awake. What's the reason? Why should you sleep only at night? By 2025, the prediction of the whole globe is there is no light, there is no darkness, everything is light. Sorry? No sleep, yeah. So blue light comprises of approximately 25 to 30% of outdoor sunlight. Yeah. So the blue light stimulates a hormone a protein called cortisol. Okay, that's the name of a particular hormone, like how we have glucose, something like that. Yeah, cortisol. So that cortisol and suppresses the melatonin secretion during the daylight. Okay, melatonin is another protein. So because of that, the melatonin is not secreted the way how it is supposed to be. As a result, during the daytime, it alters and it elevates the mood. You will be automatically very excited because of these two hormones. Yeah, but when it comes to night, the dim illumination and the darkness at night stimulates the melatonin secretion from a gland somewhere here in the brain. Okay, it's called pineal gland. Okay, that leads to drowsiness and a deep sleep. So the melatonin cycle mediates by these photosensitive layers of the retina, and these contains a molecule called chromophore. Okay, so that has a peak absorption at 470 and 480 nanometers. So this excessive blue light exposure prior to bedtime suppresses the melatonin secretion. As a result, your sleep is disturbed. Okay, so these are the two important points. One is the melatonin, other one is, where is that? Melatonin and cortisol. These are the two things. If one stimulates, other one is suppressed. If other one stimulates, the vice versa. As a result, our sleep cycle continues. But once you are exposed to blue light, the secretions alter. Even in the night, this is supposed to be suppressed. Melatonin is supposed to be suppressed. But because of the blue light, that is stimulated. As a result, we won't get sleep. Okay, that is disturbed. Okay. But the other benefit of the natural sunlight exposure is children delay in the onset of myopia. Nowadays, people talk about myopia. Okay, but if a kid is exposed to sun for an adequate amount of time in a week, then the onset of myopia comes down. Okay, that's only before the onset. But if somebody becomes already myopic, then it will not play any role. So before the onset, so sunlight has a natural protective mechanism. So there is a growing body evidence of animal and human studies indicate that daily exposure to outdoor sunlight is significantly associated with lower the rate of myopia. That means more you are exposed to sunlight, lesser the myopia before it occurs. Okay? So as a result, you promote the outdoor light exposure in children, that may be effective in lowering the myopia progression. Okay? But however, there are some unanswered questions. We say that blue light is not good. There is a good blue light and a bad blue light, right? But as of now, to the best of my knowledge, whatever the tests are done, it is done in the laboratory on animals, and the cells that are mimicked to the natural environment. Okay? So blue light, as per that, the blue light can damage photoreceptor cells and RPE via the mechanism of whatever the light that happens and the photochemical mechanisms. But however, when we looked at the evidence, there is no evidence showing damage to the human eyes. The evidence what we have as of now is only a laboratory experiments, but there is no evidence on the human eyes. But what evidence we have? The evidence what we have is the secretions alters of melatonin as well as the what is the other one? Yeah, cortisol. So that evidence we have, and blue light definitely affects the sleep cycle. Okay. Of course, others can contradict with me. Okay. So, various light protective mechanisms in the human eye includes our eyelids, the pupillary construction. When the light goes in, if there is more bright light, we automatically squeeze, right? We make it eye small. So, similarly, the opening to our eye also becomes small. So, it won't allow more light to get in. And there are some special pigments in our eye structures, they will also block. Okay. That includes the xanthophyll pigments or the adult crystalline lens pigments like chromatophores, and also the antioxidants on the retina, that some of them repairs these damages. But however, if the natural mechanism is disturbed, if somebody is prone for problems of retina, then you must recommend these blue light blockers. Okay. So blue light exposures to the sunlight several hundred times more than compared to the digital devices. So it is logical to recommend sunglasses as filters. In fact, that's what even Srikanth said. You can use transitions, you can use sunglasses as filters to protect from blue light. But however, when you looked at the many industry sponsored articles, they recommend spectacle lenses for 450 into 455 nanometers, because that's associated with photochemical retinal damage in some of the experiments. So there is an evidence, but a not strong evidence to say yes, it damages the eye. Okay. So the blue light filter glasses are reported to filter approximately 10 to 24% of the targeted wavelength, so that the protective effectiveness is still unknown, because I don't know, out of 450 into 455, these filters block how much? Does it block completely between 450 to 455? And what is the effect of it? That also I think we all should know in detail before we advise. Yeah. So, but to be in the safer side, some people always take a defensive mode. They say some practitioners and industry groups advocate that nearly all digital users should use blue light filters. Okay. So that the cumulative effect of this photochemical damage may be less. But when we looked at the consumer focused articles, I am not now talking about practitioners and industry, but consumer focused articles, including the American Academy of Ophthalmology and Optometry, that educate us, they say that do not recommend using blue light blocking glasses because there is no evidence to the retinal damage. Even today morning report same, I checked. Okay. So I got this from the American Academy of Ophthalmology. So the reasonable approach may be recommend blue light filter glasses for patients who have signs or who are at risk for early retinal disease, as normal retinal repair mechanism may be compromised. Like if somebody is having diabetes, they may get diabetic retinopathy. So that means their retina is not healthy, so you may advise for those people. So as with many unanswered clinical questions, practitioners should make sure that you know what is happening and immediately you get updates. Of course, there is an industry friends who always give us the updates immediately when something new happens, so that you can pass whatever the recommendation to your clientele. But when it comes to contact lenses, a combination of soft lens wear and extensive digital device use along with other risk factors include, they increase the contact lens discomfort. So contact lens use, also the digital device, extensive use of digital devices increases the risk of contact lens discomfort. Okay. So the patient's visual task and ocular physiology, that includes the health of the eye and environment, may play significant role. So that indicates that you don't only look at contact lens, you also should look at the eye health and also the environmental factors. So all three you should manage, so that you can decrease or minimize the risk. The other things like always make sure that you do non-specific first line of management, that is 20-20-20 ratio, or blink completely, ergonomics of the person, how the person sits, frequent lubricating using the artificial eye drops, okay, or the desktop humidifiers, maybe you can also introduce. Only when these temporary things do not help the person, then you go and looking for other factors. Okay. So if discomfort and dryness or irritation are primarily symptoms, even occurs after discontinuing the contact lens wear, so CLD is not likely to the cause. Okay. Patients who have contact lens discomfort should experience rapid relief, means as soon as they remove the lens they should feel comfortable. If once they are not comfortable, what means contact lens is not the problem. Okay. And now coming back to, of course, you should also consider updating the material, lens materials, and looking at the fitting characters and replacement schedules. When we talk about this, I just wanted to go here for a minute. Yes, there are some special material or a small addition to the actual material is added to the contact lens. Example, if you look at this material called HEMA. So any lens that has HEMA in it will have more water, almost up to 70%. This is a water loving material. So patient may be comfortable if they have dryness symptoms. Okay. But when you have this EZD-MEA, some of the silicone hydrogels will have this one. That is mainly to decrease the water content. So they may have some amount of dryness if it is because of the evaporator. Okay. Whereas the other material like MAA, methyl acrylic acid. So this again used to increase the water content. And this material is extremely hydrophilic, it loves water. So those kind of lenses also. That means in addition to looking at water content decay, you also look for what is the material made up of, whether there is anything like this NVP, because that increases water content and will be helpful for dry eyes. Okay. And anything like PVA also increases water content. Okay. So look for these things. You may not get that on the pack of the lens. You may need to Google it to find out what is there in that lens material. So these ones also will help you to improve the patient's comfort. So if optimizing lens factors are not successful and your patient is not comfortable, the best approach is to remove the lenses and use spectacle correction for prolonged use. That's what you should always consider. Okay. But whereas who loves contact lenses, they would not like to discontinue the lens, right? That's another problem. So it's your responsibility to educate and tell them that yes, you love contact lenses, but you may need to either decrease the wearing time or change the material, and even then we have tried all the options, but it is still not working. So you may need to consider shifting the modality, maybe go for beautiful glasses or maybe nice designs. So you may consider that in these cases. Okay. So take home point, if patient is having dryness, discomfort, irritation, even without the lens, so contact lens is not the reason for the digital eye strain. If somebody is having these symptoms when the lens is on, then the contact lens is the reason. So what do? First line of defense mechanism, 20-20-20 rule, blink completely, artificial tears. That won't work, then shift to change the lens frequently, go to disposables, or change the material, go to silicone hydrogels. Yeah. So even if that don't work, then you actually refer them for a good checkup, check for the lids, check for the ocular surface health, check is there any problem. That is only possible if you have an optom in your practice. I am sure optom with a slit lamp can do all those things. You don't need an expensive machines for that. Even then it won't work, then shift them to glasses. Okay. So far any doubts? Everything clear? Post lunch, feeling sleepy? Okay. Sorry?
Do you recommend the blue lenses for the system users?
Do we recommend blue lenses for the system users?
Blue protection lenses.
You are talking about ophthalmic lenses?
Yeah.
If somebody is not having any symptoms, their vision is clear, then I won't recommend. The reason I won't recommend is because the tear film itself acts like a natural anti-reflection coating. So when you have a good tear film, so that anti-reflection coating is already taken care. The reflections won't happen. But if somebody is having a strain and redness towards the end of the day, then you may need to consider looking for his refractive error. And then of course, once there is a glass, and you should have anti-reflection coat. Maybe best person to ask is Srikanth, because he is expert in, do you prescribe anti-reflection
Blue protection.
blue protection for computer users?
Emetropes or emetropes?
Emetropes.
Symmetropes.
Emetropes.
Like.
Yeah, emetropes. Yeah.
So I'll go with what Nagaraj was suggesting. They really do not have any correction. Why you want to keep some hindrance and then you want to give coding on top of it? So it's not required. But in one way, if there's a severe dryness which happens, there are something called as moisture chamber glasses. So to retain the moisture content of the eye. So that is only for severe dry eyes. So which we usually do not see in our optical retail practice. So I go what Nagaraju is saying about it.
Thank you.
If somebody don't need any glasses correction, I don't think there is a
Yeah.
reason to give. But however, the micro fluctuations in accommodation, and then looking for the lag of accommodation or anything, any accommodative problems.
Because they work a lot like it.
Exactly.
So,
Espe-
sorry to interrupt. So these lenses which support your accommodation can be considered for emetropes. I think so. Anand Lakshmi would like to add on this.
if
See, that's what I said. When I was talking, I told very clearly that first understand what is the need of the customer. Don't go by the solution before you understand the problem. The problem today is we always fix what we need to give and then ask the customer. Don't do that. Go with an open mind. Ask what they need, what is their problem, and then come with a solution. So in case if they are normal, if they're okay with what they're using, because please understand there are a lot of tests you need to carry it out to understand whether they need or not. Today's scenario, what we are trying to do is we just go by their symptoms and signs. So in case you, after probing, if they're okay, they feel they don't have any problem, then give, that's why I said multifaceted therapy. So you can, even though if they're not symptomatic, you can always try these things like 20-20-20, cutting down this. So if you give this initial therapy, if they're okay, you don't have to talk about it. But there are majority of people who will say they may face problems. In that cases, the new generation lenses which I have told, even if they are not having power, they can still have a lens only for digital eye strain, because it is basically only a lifestyle issue.
Thank you.
so just to summarize, no refractive error, no glasses. Even if you go for a best glass, the transmission of the light is maximum to 98%, 99 point something, they say maximum around that range. It's not like natural vision clarity what you have. Yeah, so it won't work. Even if you give, they won't come back to glasses for the next time. So the aim is to retain them. So why do we do all these, the primary defense treatment, then don't work, go for lens related problems, then go for eye health related problems? Because we don't want that 50% to drop out from lenses. We want them to wear lenses. So let us get that all 100 patients back to our clinic. That's the aim. Okay, so whatever you do, manage your contact lens discomfort, manage the dry eye symptoms before they drop out from lens wear. That is very, very important. Okay, thank you. Any doubts or any other questions? We can actually have a small panel. Yeah, not necessarily, no, it's like just general news hour debate. If, sorry? Yeah, no student and lecturer. Yeah, let's everybody practitioner. Just discuss, share knowledge, opinions. How do you tackle your problems?
Common questions that your clients come and ask related to strain or anything like that.
You have the privilege of so many knowledge All right, so if you don't take advantage of them, you're losing out on it. Okay, so you have.
No, nobody loses because we are all in Hyderabad. Anytime you can call, no problem.
That is okay. That's another thing.
Yes, please.
सर समझ आता हूँ, मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगा
हाँ
आपसे।
जी, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ रिप्लाई देने की।
सर टॉरिक लेंस के लिए क्या ऑप्शन रहेगा? ज़्यादातर टॉरिक लेंस आता और अर्जेंट होना बोलता, कस्टमर का रिक्वायरमेंट ज़्यादा वो रहता, तो उसके लिए हमको क्या सोल्यूशन करना चाहिए? -2.5 सिलेंडर, -2.75 सिलेंडर, ऐसा कस्टमर आता है, तो उसके लिए हम क्या सजेस्ट करना? टॉरिक लेंस जो होना है वो रेडी में नहीं मिलता 90%,
हाँ जी।
उसको वॉश करने में टाइम लेके बनाना पड़ता, तो अब उसका -3.5 स्पेरिकल या 3.5 सिलेंड्रिकल है, तो उसको हम क्या नंबर देना?
I think okay, there are two ways to manage.
जी
ठीक है। First one is if somebody wants clear vision,
Yes.
उसको clear vision चाहिए तो उसको तो टोरिक लेंस जरूर पहनना पड़ेगा,
यस
नहीं तो उसको क्लैरिटी नहीं आएगा।
नहीं,
ठीक
नहीं
है?
ऑप्शन बताइए।
हाँ,
वो तो समझता हूँ,
हाँ।
ऑप्शन
दूसरा है if that ये company is not giving the lens, I will look for other alternate options who can give me quickly the lens, because only one option is impossible, right? वो ये कंपनी देगा, बी कंपनी देगा, सी कंपनी देगा, जो किसमें जल्दी मुझे देंगे वो कंपनी को मैं लेंसेस ऑर्डर करता हूँ। बट हाउएवर typical and complicated access, complicated powers, no one will have ready stock.
ओके,
That's the problem. That's across the problem. Last many years, everyone is facing the same problem.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Yes, please. Did you say?
So what is this protein sterilized contact lenses they are using right now? When a person is facing similar little bit of problem, the contact lenses persons are saying that just send me, we'll sterilize that particular one, the protein tablets that reduces the bacterial infection. What's that and what's the method going on?
Okay. So usually what happens when the lens is fresh, the day you put the lens on the eye, so the lens interacts with the tears. Tears is full of proteins, lipids and mucus, and the lens has small pores in it. That means it's like a sponge. As soon as you put that in the tears, the lens will take the tears. So that means it also takes proteins, mucus, lipids, everything it takes. But protein is more problematic. The reason is, one, it is hard, two, it is opaque. So you clean with your regular normal solution. Day 1, 95% will be cleaned. Day 2, that means 5% remains. Over a period of time, that adds. So once you have this disposable kind of modality, it could be change lenses every 6 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, depends on the practitioner's recommendation. So that's the first method you should see. If somebody's lens is getting spoiled, then you replace the lens frequently. Or you change the solution, maybe change it to hydrogen peroxide. That's one of the best solutions available. Even then, the patient is still having the problem. So there is a disease or there is a condition called conjunctivitis, papillary conjunctivitis. That's an allergic conjunctivitis. So somebody having allergic conjunctivitis, they produce more proteins. So their lens gets damaged more frequently. So in those cases, we advise the protein removal. Basically, these are the strong cleaners. They have special chemicals like subtelicin, subtelicin A or papain. Depends on kind of protein, you have to advise their protein removal. So the reason why somebody may say, मुझे lenses दे दीजिए, मैं करके देता हूँ, because these are all strong cleaners. If you don't neutralize properly and somebody wears the lens, that means that goes to the eye, that's more toxic. That's like an acid, like it may burn the eye. So that's the reason they will take, and then you just basically they are small tablets. You just have to put overnight in the lens case after cleaning the lens, and then next day you take it out, rub the lens well, rinse the lens well, make sure that there are no remnants of these protein tablets on the lens, and then you dispense the lens to the patient. But the best way is if you can change the modality. If somebody is using yearly lenses, change them to 6 monthly or 3 monthly, monthly, bi-weekly. So the aim is to make the eyes healthy. Yeah. Aim is aim is not to get them to daily disposable. Aim is to get the clean surface on the lens. If you can achieve the clean surface in whatever the way, that is good. Okay.
A person is having astigmatism in the left eye, for example, and another is spherical. the same brand and the same quality of the disposable lenses he is using. His comfort with one eye and discomfort with the another one. What can we do?
So one is spherical, one is astigmatism. So he is not comfortable with astigmatic eye. So how good is his vision? Exactly. So his vision is blur, he is uncomfortable. So that means the astigmatic alignment might be the something wrong with the power. That's the first thing we need to rectify. That's done. Even then he is not comfortable. How is the fit? Is the rotation
Say that
okay?
if a customer is wearing for certain period of 1 hour or 2 hours, then he can complain. The immediate time of fraction of 5 minutes only, he is getting infected into his eye.
Infected
The-
means what?
The redness is
Redness is
persisting.
coming.
Yeah, and that has been referred to an ophthalmologist, and the ophthalmologist has been cleared that there is no conjunctivitis, neither there is nothing infected to the eye.
See, when somebody is wearing contact lens, eye becomes red, especially when it is a healthy eye. The reason could be a steep fitting lens. Reason could be steep fitting, means lens is not moving adequately on the eye. Then only the eye becomes red. Otherwise, there is no reason why a healthy eye is not comfortable with contact lens within 5 to 10 minutes. So that we need to look at it.
And second thing is also what you need to do is you have this technique of seeing the surface of the lens. Yes, got it. Okay, you actually hold the lens in your index. Yeah, and then cast the light, and then you actually see if there is the surface irregularities. Fortunately, because if it is a RGP lens, it's different. In soft lenses, it's very minute. You can't actually see. So you can, like how he said, I would also go in for the fit. And the second thing, and also because you say it's immediately as soon as he puts, could
Like
be
any tears or
yeah.
nicks on the lens, you should
many
look at.
kind of minute tears or some thing which is actually not compatible with the eye environment. So look at the surface of the lenses also. Exactly. It could be an
No,
inside out.
inside out won't cause redness.
It won't, because it's a taco thing.
Yeah.
It won't happen because it will slip. Nowadays lenses are very thin.
It could be high likely steep lens, or it could be some crack or a
Surface,
tear or a nick.
irregularities.
Yeah.
Try that also.
No. See, no, there is a reason. If somebody gets a red eye within 5 minutes of lens wear, means fitting is wrong. Yeah, you have to change the fitting. Any other?